This is allegedly, supposedly, apparently, according to TMZ. They got their little exclusive banner. They've been getting exclusives this whole case. Celeste was apparently allegedly seen on camera before going missing. Now, I just want to also point out, in the spirit of keeping things accurate, we'll say, this says last images of victim before disappearing from home. That's what their title is. These images are supposedly from March 19th, 2025. That's 2024. 2024. Last images of victim before disappearing from home. This is supposedly March 2024. Now, we did just find out today or yesterday, I think it was yesterday, officially from law enforcement sources that she had run away from home 3 times in 2024. So she had run away from home 3 times in 2024. That was last year. So which time, before disappearing from home, they kind of make it seem like in this TMZ article that it was the last time that she was ever seen ever in any image in the history of ever before she disappeared from her home. The issue with that is if she disappeared 3 times, the first missing persons poster that I personally saw when I was made aware of this case was the one where she went missing in April 2024. So if these videos right here are from March, which would be a month before April, she wasn't reported missing until March. Sorry, excuse me, till April, but she went missing in March, or is this a separate time? I'm just pointing this out because the way that this title is written makes it seem like these are the last moments she was ever seen. But really, this was like last year at the beginning of the year. And she wasn't reported missing until like the next month. She was apparently went missing 3 times in this year. So last images of her before disappearing from home on what? Like that's been put out by the news, maybe. But anyway, I like I said, in the spirit of just keeping things kind of like accurate, um, I felt the need to address that. And for me, it kinda like even just if I could comment, if you could oblige for a moment, one more, TMZ is getting, like, real news exclusives in this story, like, they don't have to, like, do these sensational titles, and I just wish they would just stop, like, if you don't have nothing to talk about and you just wanna make a clickbait title, okay, whatever, but, like, come on, like, this is really big news, and you have this thing here that's, like, kinda confusing in an already very confusing story where we're finding out new information every day, and that's why I'm kinda like, I'm not jumping any conclusions one way or the other way. But anyway, without further ado, there is some footage which they are saying is Celeste. Now, I will tell y'all again, it's real blurry. I'll let you be the judge if you haven't seen it before, but I'm sure everybody has seen this by now. There's no sound to the video. They're saying that's her there. And look at this jog. Do you see okay, then she stops. So she's just walking. A car is coming, maybe. I'm doing internal thoughts. Okay. Internal thoughts coming out in words. She appeared to be jogging, like the walk that you would do when you need to you're gonna miss your train or your bus and you're like going and you're like, you look at her running. That's a run. That's a full run. But these people are running. So maybe it's like, okay, everybody's running. Okay, whatever. Okay, so there she goes. Okay, there's the arrow. It's her right there. Allegedly. I mean, okay, look, stop. Can we just for a moment? Who knows who the freak this is, really? Who 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 knows who this really is? But it's being reported by TMZ this Celeste. And it is a little bit concerning, whoever it is. I mean, maybe I am primed to think it's Celeste. Maybe it's just somebody like late for the bus stop. I mean, it could be that, but they telling us it's Celeste. Okay, that's the arrow here. See the jog, 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 run, 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 run. Okay, there she is. Or whoever it is, that's supposedly her. Someone else is walking this way. There's some type of sign here. She's kind of skipping. And I'm telling y'all, it is blurry. It is blurry. So she's walking, walking, walking. Goes behind like a bush or tree or plant. And then she appears to, okay, let's see what's a different angle. Okay, there. Walking, 319. So March 19th, okay, that could be anybody. That could be anybody. Now, is it Celeste? Maybe it could be too, the height of technology. Right, exactly. Thanks so much, Birmingham Leprechaun, for the $2 super chat. Crazy, no footage. Teslas are always on recording. Actually, I'm learning through this investigation, they are not always on recording. That specific model, somebody was saying something had to be plugged in, and once the battery dies off the Sentry mode, don't work anymore. That's what they say. So there's possibilities that the cameras weren't working, but if they really need to find out, something about one of us, I bet you the cameras would be working. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Jaded Neko. You changed your name. Watching the Queen while I game. What are you playing? Queen's Court, love, heart, heart, heart. Thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. I wish I could do a game. I did try to do Dress to Impress, y'all. I couldn't even walk around. I was bad at the game. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Van, yeah, wonder what makes TMZ think that's her. So let me find the TMZ exclusive article. TMZ exclusive. I think they just got it from the store owner. They just called him, and who knows? I mean, they have been known to pay for things before. They could have got it for free. Okay, Celeste seen on security cam in Lake Elsinore before disappearance. Celeste last images of victim before disappearing from home. Ran away from home multiple times in 2024, but it seems she didn't always disappear without a trace. Because security camera footage captured one time she left. Okay, so they are telling it, at least the title is a little clickbaity, but they do get it right out front. Like, this is one of the times, one of the multiple times. Okay, good. Thank you. TMZ has obtained video from a liquor store just down the street from Celeste's family home. This was taken just after 7 a.m. on March 19th, 2024. Y'all, she could have been going to the bus stop. She could have been going catch her bus. Now she could have been going running down the street to get in the car with David. But it's just, I don't even know if that's her. Again, like, y'all are never going to see me in good faith in a documentary about social media conspiracy theorists ruining someone's life or something. No. You're always going to, I'm always going to be able to say, but keep playing, but keep rolling the tape. Because I'm not jumping on any of this. But I do want to report on it and tell you what's out there, and then we can you can make your mind up whenever you want. Me? I need to see a lot more stuff. All right, so TMZ has this video from this liquor store taken just after 7 a.m. on March 19, 2024 in Lake Elsinore, California, in which a person in a black hoodie and white pants, identified by her family as Celeste. Again, I mean, who said? I didn't hear from them. Again, maybe this is true. TMZ, I will say, has been credible in their reporting so far with the stuff that has come out. But we just don't have a lot of information. It's kind of a close to the vest investigation as far as right now is concerned. And I'm almost wondering why the feds aren't getting involved. I mean, maybe it's for the same reasons that they won't release the list. Anyway, another angle shows Celeste jogging around a corner. I would say that's accurate. Alternating between a walk and a run before disappearing from the frame. The owner of Delago Spirits, which is a liquor store in Lake Elsinore, told us Celeste's sister came to the liquor store March 19th and asked to review surveillance footage to see if Celeste had run away. The sister said the person in the video was Celeste. The store owner says he gave the footage to Celeste's family in hopes that it would help them find her. And this was the second time. Okay, good. I'm glad they answered that question because I did ask and I was wondering how many times had she run away. This was the second time she ran away. So she did come back again. So I still stand by my, critique and analysis that the title was just But whatever, you know what? I'm glad that people are clicking on this article. I think people should be reading these articles and keeping up with this case because something is amiss. I'm always very suspicious of the especially LAPD in any detective work. And there's no oversight, there's no feds involved at this point yet. I'm concerned, truly. Anyway, this was the second of the 3 times that she ran away from home. We know she ran away in January 2024, which is what that teacher had said, and was returned home after police found her in Hollywood, specifically the Hollywood Hills. Celeste wasn't a wild girl by any means, the liquor store owner says. He never heard. Well, wait. There was a 13 and 14-year-old in a liquor store, but she wasn't wild. Why are they calling it a liquor store if it was a convenience store? Liquor stores you can't go into without being 21, in my experience. I don't know, maybe California is different. Why would a liquor store owner have occasion to be acquainted with the 13-year-old to know if she were wild? They should have called it then Vibration Nation. They should have called it the corner store or a bodega or the gas station or something else. Why are they calling it a liquor store over and over? Yeah, I'm not gonna say he was selling liquor to minors, but they are calling it a liquor store. If she could go in and out of it as a liquor store, I don't know. I'm not trying to read too deep into it, but like it rubs me the wrong way. Like kind of I'm like it doesn't sit exactly right. Like when I'm reading things, like each sentence I stop and really think about it. And I'm like, wait, the liquor store owner knows the 13-year-old and knows the 13-year-old or slash 14-year-old well enough to know. She was 13 at the time. Well enough to know if she was wild? Huh? Celeste wasn't a wild girl by any means, the liquor store owner said. He never heard about any trouble at home, though law enforcement sources told TMZ that Celeste kept running away because of a troubled home. Okay, so law enforcement sources told TMZ, we did read this before, but just to reiterate, law enforcement sources told TMZ that Celeste was running away because of a troubled home. The liquor store owner says he often saw Celeste come into his store to buy soda, chips, and gum. So it's a convenience store. Why are they calling it a freaking liquor store? Police are still investigating Celeste's disappearance and her connection to David, the singer who owned the car in which Celeste's body was found. We obtained a photo which showed David less than a mile from Rivas's home in Lake Elsinore. So I do have that picture too, so let me pull that right up. This is that photo, just to remind you. Now, I did see somebody saying the weather on this day. Who asked? I think it was Kadisha Lynn. She said, now that I'm looking at this video right here, I'm paraphrasing. She's like, I wonder exactly which day this picture was taken. This one right here. See the gray, cloudy skies? She was like, okay, this doesn't look gray and cloudy, actually. That looks pretty sunny. Okay. But maybe over here, I don't know. Look, she's running. She's running. It's crazy that right at that moment, they started running. Again, y'all, she could have been going to the bus stop. The sister was chasing her down, though. She was tracking her down. Okay, so this is the day that the supposed transaction took place. This is allegedly supposed to be David, right around that same place. Now, somebody with more patience than me can kind of actually try and figure out exactly on the map. That's why I pulled this one up, if that helps you to do that. Exactly on the map, where is this in relation to exactly on the map, where is this liquor store, supposed liquor store? Again, somebody with more patience than me. Yeah, I saw that. Thank you so much. Bringing shame back. Seriously, thank God. Thank you for the 199 super chat. That's just what we call corner stores. Right. It's a corner store, not a liquor store. Thank you for the $1.99. Thank you, Bernice, for the $5 super chat. Bernice said someone knew she lived with David and saw Tesla and put her in that car. Saw it abandoned, maybe, but David needs max time too. I cry for Celeste like my own. Yeah, thank you for the $5 super chat. And that's one thing that I do thankfully see a lot of people reiterating over and over. I will reiterate it as well over and over. Um, Really, there's two many separate possible allegations of things going on. And like I say in the scrolling bar down below, everybody, including David and everybody else, is innocent until proven guilty and should be presumed as such. That is how it works in the law. And that is how I like to do my analyses as well. My commentary. Okay. I'm not the news. I'm just opinion. I'm just a girl on the internet. Okay. But really, what I've seen people on social media, I'll say, focusing on the most is two main wrongs, we'll say. Number one, having to do with somebody dealing with somebody under the age of 18, under the legal consenting age. Number one, that's a big issue, a huge issue. Number two, that said person turned up no longer living in the front trunk of the Tesla. Okay. Now, within those two main things, there's a whole lot of other stuff, right? I mean, people are throwing around things like kidnap. People are throwing around things like harboring minor, harboring this, that, the other, contributing to the delinquency of a minor. People are just, they're throwing out all kinds of things. But I still would say that would all kind of go into that first bucket of like the underage aspect of it, and then the somebody died aspect of it. I do not know. This is a point, okay? Rufio said Interscope invested a ton of money into this kid this year. He's got extremely good lawyers. That's the only reason he's out. Could be because he's innocent. We don't know, but yeah, I mean, totally. March 19th, 2024 was a Tuesday. So she probably left like, okay, I'm going to school, and then she jogged on down the way. Again, like I said, she could have been running for her bus. Now, what's being reported is that she was what is being reported? Hold on. Troubled home. Police investigating. We obtained a photo of David. A former teacher told students she disappeared after connecting with David on social media in early 2024. But ultimately, she was tracked down in Hollywood and returned to her family before running away again. So they do call it a liquor store in Southern California. As if it sells liquor, it's a liquor store. That's interesting. Where's the dad? I mean, we haven't heard anything about him, from him. Okay. All right. So, like I said, if somebody wants to do somebody with more patience than me, somebody with more Google Maps patience or whatever wants to kind of triangulate where those two pictures are in relation to each other. Could it have been that Celeste was running to the parking lot and that's the parking lot that he would pick them up at and all that? Okay, moving on to the next topic. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching the channel. What you just saw was a clip from a longer video. If you want to watch the full video, you can do that right here, or I don't know, here, one of those spots. Also, do me a favor, make sure you didn't get unsubscribed. You know, sometimes that happens. Did you like the video? Love you, Minnie. Okay, bye.